All right, all right, all right. Welcome back. We are live for day 7. Can you believe it? A whole week has already passed, and you have been growing and under revealing patterns in your life that might otherwise go unnoticed. When you acknowledge these patterns with honesty and compassion, you empower yourself to make informed decisions, especially when it comes to dating, because that's what we've been talking about. We've been talking about dating this whole week and how to become a better dater, how to show up better, how we are just finding ways for us to show up in this world, to choose better, to be chosen, right? To also work on the areas that of weakness in our lives, the things that have been up time and time again in our relationships, so we can get rid of some of that stuff, i.e., start working on and working through some of the weak areas so they no longer occur in the upcoming relationship. As I mentioned, if you're already dating or thinking about dating, these are some of the things that are really going to shape the way that your relationship is going to unfold. So you're not wasting a lot of unnecessary time. Now, when you reflect, because that's what the topic of today's discussion is, it is a celebration of you. It is you reflecting on this week and all the things that you have learned about yourself, all of the things that you have journaled to really take inventory about you and how you are showing up in this world. So, we have already talked about several topics this week. We talked about redefining your strength. We talked about your authentic self versus your expected self. We talked about the power of speaking kindly to yourself and what that looks like. We talked about self worth versus relationship desirability. And we also talked about yesterday how to love the reflection that you see in the mirror. All of those things are muy important before you start dating, ideally. Before you start dating, I know that a lot of us have all of our baggage. We're 40 plus, and it's really good for us to take inventory on what's actually happening and what that looks like. So let's talk about what the definition of self reflection actually is. So, a self relationship revelation is a powerful moment of insight about how you see, treat, and value you. It's the point when you uncover your habits, your beliefs, and your past experiences that shape your self image and influence your actions. Now, for black women, these revelations are often revealed both in both strengths and areas where societal expectations or personal experiences have led us to self neglect, doubt, and undervaluing ourselves. Now, before we go any further, let me tell you who I am. I am Marshawn Alanio. I am a shift relationship strategist. I specifically serve Black women over 40 and help them to show up differently in their relationships by using tailored strategies so they can cultivate thriving relationships. And I say relationships because I not only talk to them and help them to gain insight into their romantic relationship, I also help them to gain insight into themselves, why they keep showing up the way that they are showing up. So this week, today, day 7 of this first week is all about reflecting. It's all about taking inventory and celebrating the areas that you may have you can start working on and through. Now, self relationship revelations or to reflect. The first one is to create space for your reflection. Setting aside regular quiet time for reflection can help you tap into your inner thoughts and your feelings. Getting quiet, really just being with yourself, being with your own thoughts. This is a way for you to journal them out, to meditate on them, and to simply sit with your thoughts each day. And this can help you make room for honest insights about who you are, how you feel about yourself, and how you even feel about if you are in a relationship. How do you feel about being in a relationship with that particular person? Self reflection enhances self awareness by as much as 50%. Another study found that individuals who engage in reflecting practices are 42% more likely to make well informed, deliberate decisions. Let me say those numbers again. Self-reflection enhances self-awareness by as much as 50%. Another study found that individuals who engage in reflective practices are 42% more likely to make well-informed, deliberate decisions. So this is very important for you to take the time and reflect on all of the things that you learned about yourself this week and start really working on your areas of weakness. The second way to cultivate self relationship revelations so you can reflect is to observe patterns and triggers. Observe them. Take note of your reoccurring behaviors, especially in your relationships. Especially in your relationships. Do not avoid conflict. Apologize excessively when needed, or if you feel responsible for others' happiness. This is what you're trying to avoid doing. You're not responsible for other people's happiness. You're only responsible for your own happiness. Now, understanding these patterns can highlight underlying beliefs and unresolved emotions that need healing. So, by showing up for yourself, making space for you to reflect. When you observe these patterns and these triggers, it's going to really help you to understand and not feel like you need to apologize unless it's needed, right? If it's needed, then you apologize, but you don't have to overly apologize if it's not necessary. And you don't have to feel responsible for other people's happiness, because just like you have to do your own internal work, your partner should be used to doing his own internal work as well. So when the two of you come together, now you're both are mature emotionally in those areas, so the both of you can start leaning on and leaning into one another, but not in a hindrance way. It's more of a complementary way for the both of you. You already understand that, hey, I got to do my inner work, you have to do your inner work. So when we come together and have these intentional conversations about dating or about where we're going, then the two of you will be on the same page. The third way to cultivate self relationship revelations is to ask yourself the tough questions. This is something that a lot of people lack or do not want to face, because most of us don't like answering the tough questions. We like to laugh all the time and not take things as serious as they are. And when it comes time to be serious, excuse me, when it comes time to be serious, it's time to be serious. That's what it boils down to. That way you feel like you are heard, you feel like you are understood, you feel like you and your potential partner are on the same page about the topics at hand, and not feeling like you're being taken as a joke. So you must be willing to ask yourself the tough questions. Self relationship revelations require courage to dig in. So I'm gonna give you a few questions that you can ask yourself. Let me get them right here. One of the first questions that you should be asking yourself is, what parts of me am I not accepting or nurturing? What parts of me am I not accepting and or nurturing? The second question, where have I prioritized others' expectations over my true needs? Where have I prioritized others' expectations over my true needs? And then the other question is, how do I speak to myself in challenging situations? How do I speak to myself in challenging situations? This process can feel challenging, of course, but it's a doorway to understanding and breaking free from your own limiting beliefs. It's a doorway to break free from some of your limiting beliefs about yourself. One of the things I want to jump into is this book right behind me, You Can't Get Over Your Ex. I want to talk about this briefly because so many people have been in relationships. And again, if you're in your 40s, 40 plus, you've been in a relationship and you might not know why you have been struggling with some answers. I wrote this book. It is a journal. It goes even deeper than some of the three questions that I just mentioned. I'm going to put the Amazon link in there. It is an affiliate link. If you do happen to purchase the book, decide to purchase the book, then I will get a small commission. But this is called You Can't Get Over Your Ex. It is a guide, what it says, the Woman's Healing Journal to Say Goodbye for Good and Mean It. I'm going to put the link, the Amazon link, down in the description box. But this is when you are ready to move on from your ex, but you're struggling with how to move on from them. Breakups can be hard. Breakups suck, period. So You Can't Get Over Your Ex, the Woman's Healing Journal to Say Goodbye for Good and Mean It, is a breakup journal for women to heal from a recent breakup or one you have been secretly holding on to, so you can go from longing to be back with your ex to completely healed and ready to say goodbye from the craziness forever. Again, I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to link it down in the description box after this live. So that's one of the ways to go deeper by purchasing the book, going deeper into asking yourself some of those tough questions, some of the questions that you should have asked yourself before you started dating. But again, a lot of us didn't understand why we should be asking ourselves the deeper questions, understanding what our values are, but also understanding why your relationships didn't. And I'm saying relationships because I'm sure you've been in more than one, and maybe you have been married and even divorced by this time in your life, and you're still trying to figure out how come that relationship didn't go to the next level. Well, guess what? This is going to help you understand why the relationship didn't go to the next level. But I have to be honest with you, it's not so much about the other person, although there are questions about your ex in there. This is mainly about you and how you were showing up and why you decided to be in relationship with that particular partner. So this journal is literally all about you, although there are questions in there about your ex, but it's really giving you an understanding of who you are and why you chose said person that you chose, as well as why you can't let go. So it's answering a lot of those questions in there. Now, getting back to this, your week of reflection. Congratulations. Another way for you to reflect, because sometimes when you're um, having needing to ask yourself these deeper questions, you don't know what to ask, where to begin, or like you might have some blind spots. And so when you have these things that's keeping you stuck and you don't know where to begin, it might be time for you to seek some support. So seek support when it's needed. Working with a therapist, a life coach, or a support group can be invaluable. External support provides perspective and guidance, especially for understanding complex emotions rooted in past experiences. It's kind of what I was just saying about my book that's right behind me. You Can Get Over Your Ex. It's literally helping you to get to the root of why you decided to choose said person and why you were dealing in that relationship for however long you decided to stay there. So seek some support. The things that I just mentioned, most of them, I'm sure all of them cost money in some form. And so if you want, as a way to just get started, this is a way to indirectly work with me. Go ahead and purchase the book, You Can't Get Over Your Ex. Once the live is over, it will be in the description box. The link will be in the description box once the live is over. The final way to set up self-reflection so you can get some revelations is to commit to self-compassion. Discovering unhelpful beliefs or patterns can stir self-criticism. Commit to treating yourself with patience and kindness during this journey. Practice affirmations, celebrate your small wins, and recognize that growth is a gradual process. It is a process. It is not something that you're going to go through, understand right away. You have to go through the process of unraveling. And I like to say, peeling back the onion. I'm peeling back an onion, but you are the onion, because once you discover or uncover, I should say, uncover one layer, there's something deeper beneath that. And so then you got to keep pulling back this onion until you get down to the core of the onion, which is the root as to why you are showing up the way that you're showing up in your relationships, in your life, with your children, why you believe certain things about yourself, right? So we tap into your belief systems and we start to unravel all of that things so we can start to rewire your brain in a more positive affirming way for you. So that is all I have today. I'm not going to hold you long because I want you to take the time to actually reflect on the things that you learned about yourself this week. Start to journal about them. And if there is a revelation that you would like to share, then please share it here in the comment section below. I would love to read them, as well as start the dialogue so this doesn't feel like a monologue, because I know some of you are coming in and leaving out on this live. I love you guys, and there's nothing that you can do about it. Again, I'm Marshawn Olanio. I am a shift relationship strategist where I help Black women over 40 to show up differently in all of their relationships using tailored strategies so they can cultivate loving, thriving relationships. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow for day 8, which we're going to tap into a new topic tomorrow. So I will see you then. All right, have a great day, and send this to somebody that you know needs to hear it. Bye-bye now.